Good morning, new 1%. It's your boy Boomin coming at you with yet another video, guys. Go ahead and do all the things that the algorithm likes for me. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell. Let's get right into the show, guys. Join the Patreon down below. We're talking about Cardano today. And what do you guys think? We had a big pump the past week, actually going up about 25% in the last week, 33% in the last 2 weeks, and 31% in the last 30 days. It's definitely good to see. We're still a far cry from earlier this year in March from 77 cents, but I think we can get there relatively quickly. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any price predictions? Go ahead and let me know down below. Do you guys think that Cardano can get to $1 by the end of the year? I don't think that would be particularly hard, but what do you guys think? Let me know. All right, guys, so we're gonna watch this short little clip here of Charles Hoskinson and the future president of the United States. Probably in about 4 years, we'll be ready for this man, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Don't at me. I don't care about your political affiliation. RFK is the GOAT. So let's take a listen at what Charles and RFK has to talk about regulation. I think this is very, very important. And yeah, let's see what these two very, very smart gentlemen have to say.
Right. Well, at the least we could know where the contradictions are and where the injustices are, so we have a bug list, and whether we can actually fix the code or debug it or not, at least we know that there's a problem there. So I want to pivot a bit, and this is the meat and potatoes of our industry, the economic side. And I know you recently spoke at Bitcoin 2024, and you outlined several policies there, including a strategic Bitcoin reserve composed of both seized and purchased Bitcoin. And also you proposed tax policy like expanding 1031 rules to cover cryptocurrencies. And our industry, going beyond those proposals, we have kind of two broad regulatory grade areas, and they're causing everybody in this room and rooms like this a lot of heartburn. The first regulatory concern is asset classification. And this is really who is the regulator of concern for the majority of the things we do. If you go and talk to Gary Gensler and you go and talk to the Biden administration, they seem to be of an opinion that everything that walks is a security. And the challenge is that securities law is not really fit for purpose. A lot of people in our industry have been having discussions about maybe we should have cryptocurrencies be commodities and regulate them under the CFTC. And so the first question is for you to kind of channel your grandfather, because I think not a lot of people in the room know that I think your grandfather was the founding chairman of the SEC. And this is something that's near and dear to your family's legacy of kind of establishing this entire regulatory system. And instead of going into, let's say, specifics like do you support FIT 21 or FIA, more how do you think about building effective regulation for frontier industries? Because, you know, the next president's not just dealing with blockchain, they're dealing with quantum computers and the rise of AI and synthetic biology and all these new business models. And it's unrealistic to say, well, everybody has to be an expert on everything and then come down from the mountaintop like Moses with tablets and solve the problem. Rather, it has to be more of a problem-solving philosophy. And I was hoping that the crowd here can become a bit acquainted with how you think about developing regulations, especially in frontier agencies, and so we can finally get to clarity of whether something's a security or a commodity, who's in the room, how do they get into that room, and then how do you build bipartisan consensus for that?
Yeah, and you know, my grandfather had been was a Wall Street outsider. So he came from Boston. He was an Irish Catholic. He had to leave Boston because at that time the financial clubhouse in Boston was the ecosystem was dominated by Brahmin wasps, and he was not welcome. So he went to New York, and he loved the freedom in New York. He was still not on the Insiders Club, but he figured out the tricks for how to manipulate stocks, and Roosevelt named him because he knew the tricks. Roosevelt named him as the first chair of the SEC. My grandfather did not want to dismantle Wall Street. He loved free market capitalism. He wanted to release the energies of the marketplace, but he also wanted to make it be fair to the little guy. And he understood if the little guy was going to invest, he had to know the system wasn't rigged. So he developed disclosure rules, and he developed anti-fraud rules and conflicts of interest rules to make it work in a way, but not to burden the market, but rather to guarantee that the market would actually function in a way that was not corporate crony capitalism, but was true free market capitalism. And he succeeded in doing that, and he saved Wall Street from itself. Today, you have a government that is doing the opposite. They're trying to pick winners and losers, and unfortunately, they're extremely hostile to Bitcoin and to cryptos. And we should pass we should pass FIT 21, FIT 21. We should repeal SAB 121 or which both houses of Congress
SAB
tried
121.
to do. SAB 121, which both houses of Congress tried to do. And then that was vetoed by the administration, but this administration has been very, very hostile to it. Gary Gensler's lost 3 cases: the Ripple case, the Grayscale case, and also the debt box case, which the Utah judge took the unusual step of sanctioning SEC. SEC has exposed itself not only as biased, but also incompetent and unfair. And, I think what the industry needs, what the industry wants, is just certainty. They want to be able to, there are certain times that crypto should be regulated as a commodity, and other times that they should be regulated as a security. We should have rules that clearly delineate that so that people have certainty. And that, unfortunately, is not what we're getting. I'm very much a libertarian on these issues. I think that we should have a minimize the amount of rules. We should give certainty, and we should encourage the market to pick its own winners and losers and not have the government doing that.
And are you a fan of self-regulatory organizations? And how would you like to work with industry, especially frontier industries, and more broadly, just beyond blockchain, looking to quantum computing and AI and all these other things that the next president is not only going to have to deal with, is going to make decisions that have consequences in the trillions of dollars and many lives? How would a President Kennedy work with the broader industry as a whole, and what type of relationship do you want to have with industry?
I mean, my objective is to bring those industries, to make the United States the hub of those industries, to allow them to flourish here and to build wealth in our country. There's no way that we can deal with this $35 trillion debt by cutting our way out of it. We have to grow our GDP. And there are a few ways to grow GDP, but the best way is with new industries, the same way that we did with Silicon Valley back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. And we're driving these industries out of our country. In Switzerland, over the past year, 2 years, there's been, I think, 1,200 new cryptocurrencies registered, and the value is about $360 billion. They should be here in our country. We shouldn't be driving these industries to Switzerland and Singapore and Dubai and China and Russia, et cetera. We should be hosting them here. We should be making them feel safe. We should be working with the industry leaders, which is what I will do, to devise rules that are safe, that protect the consumer from fraud, from overreach, but also that minimize the burden on these companies and allow them to release the entrepreneurial energies and make this a very, very friendly ecosystem for them.
Wholeheartedly agree. I wonder if RFK is going to have some say in the government here. I don't know. Probably not. It's probably a long shot, but These conversations are being had, and Charles is working with regulators now with the Trump election happening. I'm not expecting favorable crypto regulation. I think Trump's going to do a 180 on that as soon as he gets in office. All I'm hoping for is that Trump has non-hostile regulations for crypto, and that can bode well for the next bull run and really kick things into gear. So shout out to RFK, shout out to Charles. I thought that was very interesting. Let's go ahead and move on, guys. Just real quick, you could get a dedicated Cardano ETF with the advent of Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs, and they're talking about an XRP ETF. They have a ETF, Swiss ETF, ticker symbol AADA.SW, is a dedicated Cardano ETF from a Swiss company called 21 Shares. You can get it in the US too, just by asking your broker for the international desk. No crazy premiums. I got Cardano in my IRA account this way. But I think a Cardano ETF is coming soon. You could also invest in the Grayscale ETF as well. There's a lot of options here. ETFs are definitely going to be primed. I would highly recommend you guys pick up some iBit here soon. Before this rockets. It's been pretty stable for now, but I think that once the bull run occurs, guys, this is going to go insane. All right, so this could be a little arbitrage opportunity for you guys. You still got the Bitwise one here, the Grayscale. I'd highly recommend looking into that before the bull run actually occurs. And then finally, guys, Meld is over with. So just wanted to let you guys know they're shutting down. Buddy said he lost 5K ADA. I feel bad for him. But, hey, this is the Wild West, and, things happen. Lost 18K ADA. Oof. So, you win some, you lose some, guys. You could always get it back as long as you breathe on this earth. I'm sorry to all the Meld holders out there. Pick yourself up. You can still make money in this bull run. It's not over. I've lost money in a lot of projects, but I've also made money in a lot of projects. So it's just the nature of the beast. If you're in crypto and you trade and you want to get speculative, it's gonna happen. If you don't want to lose money and you don't want to get rugged and you don't want to take a whole lot of risk, there's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. Just invest in that and you'll be all right. I love you guys. Keep chopping wood. Join the Patreon down below. We back. Bye.